Ann Kent. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and the owner of Peas and Happiness. Today I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite seasonal fruits, which are apricots. These are a stone fruit similar to nectarines or peaches, but as you can see, they are quite a bit smaller. So most people are familiar with dried apricots. You can find those, of course, year round, but this time of year, apricots are in season and they are such a flavorful, fun seasonal fruit to enjoy as a snack or as a dessert or in another part of your meal. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to pick these out, how to tell if they're ripe, how to store them, and then go over how to cut them. There is a pit inside and some different techniques for either just eating fresh or for cooking. So when you are picking out apricots, you'll want to find one that doesn't have any blemishes. So I have an example of one that's been a little bit damaged here. So you can see that maybe it was dropped or it got dried a little bit, but that's an example of something that typically I would not recommend. This all came in a bag in the farmer's market, so I sort of have a collection of all different sorts. But this is an example of a really beautiful apricot. So you can see that it's even all the way around. It's just a little bit soft. So it's not too soft, but it's not completely firm. And similar to peaches or nectarines, other stone fruit, that's what you're going to be looking for to know that this is ripe. So if it's not ripe, you can simply put these in a paper bag, put them on your counter, let them sit a few days, and they will ripen. So if you prefer, you can store them out at room temperature like we do in our fruit bowl, or you can put them in a refrigerator once they are ripened. It depends how fresh they are. Similar to other fruit, they'll keep for about a week. In the refrigerator, they'll keep longer. At higher temperatures, at room temperature, they're going to spoil a little bit more quickly. So nutrition in apricots, because they are so tiny, the serving size is really big. The serving size for apricots is actually 4 apricots, which isn't a lot if you're eating them dried, but is quite a bit if you're eating them fresh. So 4 of these have about 15 grams of carbohydrates, but 2.8 grams of fiber, which is a lot for one of these little guys. So you probably won't eat too many if you're eating them fresh, but it is something to be aware of if you're eating them dried. They're similar to prunes in that they do have a lot of fiber and can mess with your digestion if you're not used to eating that much fiber. They're also high in vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, as many other fruits and veggies. Unlike others, these are actually a pretty good source of iron. So in 4 apricots, you get about 3 milligrams of iron, which is quite a lot for a plant food. So something a little bit unique. So when you're prepping, I like to use a paring knife. And like I mentioned, there is a pit inside that you will not want to eat. You can just eat this plain, just like you would a peach, and eat around the pit. Or if you want to cut it up, you can see where there's a little line here, and that shows you the direction of where the pit is. So it's going to be a flat pit that is that same shape as the apricot. So I'm just going to take the paring knife, use my thumb for support, and just go around, gently around that pit. Now these apricots are really perfect because that pit just literally falls out. Sometimes it can cling a little bit more, but if you have a good ripe apricot, then that pit will just fall out. So you can discard that, and the rest of the fruit is completely edible. So if I'm not eating this just plain, I also like to serve it over vanilla ice cream or yogurt. Vanilla yogurt is another really excellent way to serve this. Sometimes plain yogurt with a drizzle of honey. So there's a lot of good ways to enjoy that. You can also cook apricots. I use dried apricots in several different recipes, and I'll share one that uses acorn squash. They're very sweet, and so they're a nice addition to maybe some more neutral flavors like an acorn squash. It'll give it a little bit of brightness and a little bit of tartness, but it'll also some sweetness. You can make the fresh apricots into a chutney. You can preserve them in jam, but honestly, we don't get these very often, and so enjoying them fresh is our favorite way to do that. So if you have any favorite recipes or any favorite ways that you like to use fresh apricots, I would love to hear them. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care.